Okay, boyfriend. What are we drinking today?
We're going to be drinking some coffee from Luna. This is a Kenyan coffee. It's got notes of pomegranate, Bing cherry, and herbal rosehip. It's a nicely light roasted coffee. It's going to be like very like juicy and red in flavor.
Let's do some coffee ASMR.
I could barely hear that.
That's delicious.
That's really nice.
So we're trying something a little bit different. Not really too different because it's essentially just like a Q&A segment. But as you can see, we now have mics.
And it's kind of more of like a formal podcasty setup.
No, it's absolutely not. It is not. It's not a podcast.
This is
It's
a
not
podcast,
a podcast.
now. This is a podcast now.
No, the two guys with mics.
Two guys with mics and
The
nothing
worst.
better to do.
I think eventually, as time goes on, this segment will naturally evolve as well. But for right now, it's going to be a little Q&A. If you guys have any other questions or topics that you guys want to see discussed, pertaining to being less shitty to others, our planet, and yourself, let us know. Moving to a new city for new opportunities.
Yeah, I moved from Alberta to come to culinary school here in Vancouver. I had tried a couple things before that, and I was in community college for one semester, taking random courses I was interested in, or I had worked as a carpenter, or bunch of little
Odd jobs,
trying to figure out what I really found meaning and what I valued. I liked cooking, just decided to give it a whirl and jumped out here and started cooking. I'm very fortunate to go to a really nice culinary school and actually give it a really good shot.
What if you just went to a culinary school in Alberta?
I'm sure career-wise and education-wise, not much would have changed. But from a personal experience,
Growth perspective.
from who I am today and who I was going to become, I don't think the story would have been anywhere near the same.
Same thing for me. I feel like it definitely helped, but I think same thing that you were saying in terms of, being away from family. I think for both of us, it was very beneficial because we were able to kind of, I don't know, experiment a little bit more.
Come out of the closet.
Yeah, personally, but also from a career standpoint. I think it was very beneficial. But I don't think, especially nowadays, I don't think you have to move into the big city like New York or LA to be successful. Everything is so interconnected.
Well, I feel like it's part of self-searching. These bigger places and cities are going to have more opportunities for you to experience, and you learn more about yourself versus you can be so tied to your upbringing. You think about the stereotypes of the people still living their high school days or something like that. Yeah. They probably never got to experience a lot more outside of that and outside of their hometown and realize who they are beyond that perspective.
And then kind of going off on that, the reality of living in Vancouver, your experience of moving, and what was difficult.
The housing market is so difficult.
Yeah.
It's been bad. It's been really bad here.
I mean, it was at one point pretty okay because of the pandemic. And then there was that pandemic pricing, which I don't think we
didn't benefit from that too much
at all. But now it's gotten to a point where a one bedroom is going to be...
It was like Slingshot. It went back a little bit and then it went way far forward.
Yeah. But I guess in terms of the realities or expectations, I feel both of us are coming from a very privileged perspective where, we do get to experience a lot of the great things. We're able to eat out whenever. We live right by the ocean. We can see the mountains right now. So this perception of Vancouver being very beautiful and scenic, it's true, but there are some very gritty and darker sides, especially where my studio is at. It's right off of East Hastings, and we do see it day to day, but I feel a really sad part is that I've definitely become really desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Even just working in that area and just seeing people so often homeless. And that is something before coming to Vancouver I knew of, but I guess I didn't realize that I would be seeing it pretty much on a daily basis. And that's just one of the realities of living in Vancouver. Ways to deal with social anxiety, especially as an introverted person. Would you say you're an introvert?
I don't think so. I think I'm an extroverted person. Like I love social interaction and I love talking to people.
But sometimes you're not the
With
best at it.
strangers, it's different. Like if I don't know them, or like if it's like a customer and like service interaction,
Yeah.
it's way harder for me. But like with people that I already know and like people that I've already like established some kind of like rapport with, like I don't know, I find it so easy to just like chat.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of like the main thing in terms of it depends how well you know the other person. I feel like we have a solid group of friends here in Vancouver now that, you know, meeting up with them, I don't get like anxiety over it. But whenever I'm placed in a situation where there's a lot of new people, yeah, I get hella socially anxious.
Yeah, I think like when I'm in a situation where there's a lot of new people, I like kind of get excited and I'm like, oh, I can like meet people and I don't have to worry about my first impression or anything like that. Just because I might not see them ever again.
That's true. Yeah.
And like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I need so much like warning or even like prep time.
Yeah.
Like I need at least like we were talking about Ryan's previous like work party where like it last minute change of plans, partners were invited, and I was fully like set that my afternoon was going to be cleared and I didn't have to do anything.
And like, I took that as an opportunity to be like, oh, you should come to the staff party. You should like come and meet everybody and like hang out for a bit.
To me, I was so sure that my afternoon was going to be clear, and that having an afternoon clear for me was essentially like a booked off thing. Like that was something that I wanted to do. And I just told Ryan, I was like, I need at least 1 week notice, especially because these would be like fresh new people. And obviously there, you know, some times where you just got to do it and you just got to go. But for something like this, where it wasn't like absolutely mandatory, I felt like it was just more probably better to kind of like protect my mental sanity.
No, the more you do it, the more you get better at it. And also like, there is no obligation to say yes to go to these things. Like you don't have to.
How do you balance work, social life, and personal time?
Like, I don't think I have to because my work isn't really taking up a lot of time in the day these days.
Plus, your schedule is made for you. Like, these are the hours that you have to work, and then outside of that, you are doing whatever.
Yeah.
So that's already work versus other stuff.
Yeah, I kind of just fill my time with whatever comes up. Like, if I have a couple hours in the middle of the day, it's like I'll go play basketball and go to the gym. Or like if somebody's available to do something in the evening, I'm like, cool, let's do that. Like I'm not really making plans. They just kind of fall in my lap.
I feel like it really depends on your career and kind of if you are working a bit more traditional where you clock in, clock out, maybe that separation is a bit easier versus, you know, in my case, working as a content creator, as a vlogger, where a lot of my personal life is work. It's really hard to make that distinction on what is work and what we're actually doing for pleasure. And sometimes there is no distinction. A lot of the times it has to be both. And I think just kind of understanding that work-life balance doesn't have to be things segmented into different categories. It can be like a Venn diagram where things are in the middle. And I think I've come to a place where it's like, this is both work and pleasure. And I'm very grateful that I'm able to do that. But I also understand that one of the downsides is that there isn't going to be that separation a lot of the times. So yeah, I think it really just depends on your situation, but we still try to make time that is like completely off camera, do things by ourselves, but also understand that when we are doing things together and we're filming or whatnot, we're still able to like enjoy those moments. At the same time, acknowledging that it's still part of my work.
Yeah, we don't want to like let the camera hold you back from any kind of like enjoyment in whatever you're doing, but at the same time, like it is work, so like taking it to a level of seriousness is important.
What kind of video games does Ryan play? Wait, bold of you to assume that I don't play video games.
He does not play video games.
But you're right, I
He
do
will
not.
He will not play
I
video
try.
games. You don't try.
I tried
You
to
don't
play
try enough.
Animal Crossing.
You played 15 minutes and then you gave up.
It was so boring. It was so boring.
Okay,
It was so
what
slow.
about Pokemon?
Yeah, there was the new Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon. Uh, it was just also
like,
too slow.
We tried like Castle Crashers. We tried like.
But anyways, what games do you play?
I have been really getting into Mount and Blade Bannerlords 2.
Is that the RuneScape one?
Yeah, that's the
Nice.
RuneScape.
Yeah, he plays that a lot. He really likes it.
That's fun.
It's a bit lower stress.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
way lower stress than like Call of Duty or other games. I used to really like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds or PUBG. Counter-Strike. I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike. Yeah, I don't play as much video games anymore. I think it's now kind of just like something to relax and just like, turn my brain off from daily stresses, which is good. So yeah.
Do you have any advice on cooking economically and how to make money go a longer way?
Buy a freezer.
Buy a freezer.
Buy a freezer and buy things in bulk and meal prep in bulk.
Oh, like the larger meats.
Like larger meats.
Especially when they're on sale.
Learn how to use like trim and like little scrappy bits. Find ways to like, stretch it with vegetables. Nothing like meat is a great filler, but also like being able to take a small amount of meat and some vegetables and make it a full meal is really economically valuable.
Yeah, I feel like the cheapest things usually are like beans, legumes, lentils, rice, potatoes. So as long as you don't consider meat to be like a primary essential part of your meals.
Yeah, you can get like vacuum seal bags and stuff. You can be able to like preserve things really well in your freezer without freezer burning it for like over a year. I have like some fish in the freezer that I've had for like ages. I've got a bunch of things in the freezer that
also
I
you
just like
put the things in the sous vide, so they're pretty much almost fully cooked.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes meal prepping a little bit easier. Okay, the people want to know, what is your favorite thing about me?
I don't know if I'd be able to choose just one.
Shut up.
I don't know. I just really like your company. Like I feel like I don't have to put on a front, or I don't have to try too hard, or like be somebody that I don't want to be. Like you just are always like so consistently amazing to be around.
Thank you.
And just like a pleasure to spend time with. And you're cute.
I feel like this could be another episode in itself, but how has it been dating men? Because this is our first time actually dating same sex.
Yeah.
So, there are obviously some differences just from like a cultural perspective. Like I remember even in the beginning when we were going out and like kind of holding hands in public.
Or like kissing near
PDA,
the window.
Yeah, it was just like whoa, especially because we started dating at the beginning of the pandemic. So like for the first year it was just us. Like we didn't see anybody else. We weren't even allowed to go out to like restaurants or anything like that. It was just us in our tiny little studio apartment. And maybe that had to do something with it as well, in terms of like in the beginning we
didn't have anything but each other.
Yeah, it was
like,
such a different experience.
Like we didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
There was nothing to do but like get to know each other and spend time, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, it just worked out really, really well for us.
Yeah, I feel like it was either gonna make it or break it, like in the pandemic, in the tiny studio. But we're here now.
We haven't had a lot of confrontation with like homophobic people, or like a lot of like issues in Vancouver or like in our daily lives with people who are like actively homophobic.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely like we're in the gay area of Vancouver too, and that probably helps.
But also like we are in a very gay friendly city, in a gay friendly part of the world. So like
Yeah, I see it a lot online, but that's just part of being online and posting, content. But I feel like, living in Vancouver, especially BC, being a lot more progressive than Alberta.
Canada more than the United States.
Exactly. How did you end up finding friends in Vancouver? Please tell us. So I had that one little video where I tried making friends using Bumble BFF. That didn't really work. All of the people that I met in that video was through TikTok, and I actually met another friend through TikTok. And then I guess we kind of gradually got introduced to their friend group. And everyone was super welcoming and very friendly. And
Now they're our friends.
exactly, you just have to like infiltrate a friend group that's already
Yeah.
established and befriend
And
them
like
individually.
they've all been friends since like before high school.
Yeah,
So
since, like,
like we
elementary
got
school.
lucky.
Yeah,
there.
we really lucked out because everyone was so welcoming. I feel like a lot of people who have been friends since like high school or elementary school, they're pretty closed off. Like they're not really.
They're not looking to make new friends a lot of times.
No, yeah, and like understandable. Like building new friendships is a lot of work on both ends.
For myself, I find that the only way I'm able to make friends is just by maintaining relationships I've had through previous workplaces. And like, because all I have is friends from the service industry. So like, I just have to maintain those relationships and like try and spend time with them outside of like our work hours, which, yeah, you just have to like put in that effort.
Coworkers can definitely be your friends.
They can turn into friends, but
right, but they're not immediately your friends.
Like,
they're your
yeah.
coworkers.
yeah.
Do you have interesting stories?
No, I don't have any interesting stories. I'm not an interesting person.
Okay.
I'm kind of a boring person.
Okay.
Besides, last week, I hit a game-winning three-pointer, and somebody called game before the shot even went in.
Wow.
That was a good feeling
At the YMCA.
at the YMCA.
Are you nice?
I'm nice.
But yeah, if you have any future topics that you want us to discuss, maybe some other guests other than Ryan, let us know.
Other than me,
Yeah.
they would only ever want me.
Okay. As always, thank you guys for watching, and remember to be less shitty. Bye.
Bye.